Hey guys, and welcome to another Game Explained discussion. I'm your host, Andre Siggers, and this time we're joined by Derek Bender, Ash Paulson, and Chris Niosi to discuss the latest leak for Smash Bros. 3DS. So let's get started. Alright guys, so I'm finally back, and we're going to talk more Smash Bros. Like we normally do. Now, I know we already covered the last leak pretty extensively that leaked new characters like the Duck Hunt Dog and the return of Dr. Mario, among many others. But some new stuff came out today, quite a bit of new stuff in fact. Perhaps the two biggest things were videos of Bowser Jr. and Shulk in action. And to me, like this basically confirms beyond a shadow of a doubt, at least those two characters, and I think supports the rest of the leak. So yeah, let's go and get your guys' quick thoughts on this. So what's your stance on the leak so far?
I'm right there with you, Andre. I think I always kind of believed that this leak was probably going to end up being the real deal. And I think these videos that have come out today totally prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt. Mm-hmm. There's still things we don't know, but in terms of what the leak last week specified, I think all of that can be taken as truth now.
Right.
I'll say this. The Shulk video did not do much to convince me just because it didn't look that impressive, but the Bowser Jr. one is much harder to fake, so to speak. Mm-hmm. So I am leaning much more towards this being real than I was during the initial discussion. However, I still have that shadow of a doubt where, like, this just seems all too convenient or whatnot. It's coming from so many different sources, and I just don't. I think parts of this are true. I just don't think the whole thing is true. And it's not like I don't want it to be true. It's just I'm having trouble buying it. That's all. That's really all it comes down to.
Oh, come on, admit it. Part of you doesn't want it to be true.
The only thing I don't want to be true is the fact that the ice climbers are gone. That's my biggest heartbreak.
That is unfortunate.
We were talking for a bit before the discussion started recording, and because we were trying to catch up, Andre, on what the hell was going on with all this, because the reason this is so confusing is because there's been multiple leakers and multiple different things coming out and conflicting stories. Even dating all the way back to the Gamatsu guy or whatever. There's been like stuff clashing with no, it's going to be this and this person's in or this or whatever. The video evidence looks pretty solid. I mean, I don't have much inclination to think it's like a very like a well thought out hack, because it just seems way too much like it's just actual footage from the game to be something like that, as I think Kotaku or whoever was theorizing. Oh, it could be a brawl hack or something. I don't think that's the case. But that said, I as a person who likes Bowser Jr., unlike apparently most of the world, I'm super excited about that. I think the little bits that we saw of his moves look pretty fun. Using the Koopa Clown car as a little mobile suit, basically, I think is a really cute and fun idea to differentiate him. I always thought if he was going to be playable, he'd have like the paintbrush or something like from Mario Sunshine, which maybe he does. Maybe he's got that tucked away somewhere as one of his special moves or something. But he looks like he's going to be a lot of fun. I certainly can't be upset about him being a choice over somebody else, because he looks like he's very unique, and that in itself is exciting to me. So
yeah, the new characters, both of them so far look very different from others we've seen before. And I believe there was some leak that came out earlier that matches up with what we've seen so far, that you could replace Bowser Jr. with the other Koopa Links. And I think that would be awesome if you can actually just swap out. It's not even Bowser Jr. really. It's more about the clown car at that point. Based on what we've seen of the video, I think it looks awesome. I'm not a Bowser Jr. fan by any stretch, but having it be focused around the clown car, its moveset, I think just looks really cool.
Well, I think that's a great idea in order to appease the people who don't like Bowser Jr. Is like, okay, well, just pick your favorite Koopaling, and there you go. And I've become fond of Iggy after playing Mario Kart 8 for so long, and yeah, I'd like to put Iggy in the clown car and just go to town. And I like the idea of the clown car being this big thing, because it does play with expectations. Because I know a lot of people expected the paintbrush, but I always thought, like, okay, well, if Bowser Jr.'s in there, he's probably just like a mini, faster Bowser, which never seemed that exciting to me. But because he has a completely new moveset, he's actually much more interesting than the other supposed rumored character, which is Dark Pit.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree. I'm not a fan of Bowser Jr. at all, but I think giving us the option to choose any of the Koopalings instead of him and putting him in a clown car, which is a completely unique moveset, it does make him a lot more interesting. So, as much as I wasn't a fan of that at first, I'm warming up to the idea. And I'm actually kind of cool with Dark Pit because I love Kid Icarus Uprising, and they are two completely separate characters. The part of the roster that really just burns me is Dr. Mario. I feel there's no need to bring Dr. Mario back ever.
I totally agree with that. Like, I mean, so for me, like, I've seen some people freaking out over this leak. I think including Derek. And like, I mean, as soon as I saw Duck Hunt Dog, it didn't matter what they announced after that. I was content. I'm like, Duck Hunt Dog is awesome. I'm good. Doesn't matter what they do after this. With that said, I would say Dr. Mario is pretty much like the sole blemish on this whole thing. Because that's something they fixed with Brawl. They got rid of him. And now they're bringing him back. It's just weird to me. I feel like, I don't mind Toon Link, he is a different Link, or, as long as they're different characters, but Dr. Mario does rub me a little bit the wrong way. It's just a skin, basically, with a couple of different moves.
The weirdest thing about that character select screen is the fact that Toon Link and Link are not next to each other. They're surrounding the other Zelda characters on this picture, and then Falco is next to Fox, and then Dr. Mario, Pit, and Lucina are all next to each other. And that makes me think that maybe Dr. Mario, Pit, and Lucina fall into that sort of category that Sakurai was talking about when Lucina was revealed, in that she has the same actual moveset, but the properties of her moves are slightly different, like the differences between her sword. So maybe Dr. Mario, Pit, and Lucina all kind of fall into that same sort of, like, this is a definite clone category.
Right. The other possible explanation for that is that, usually in previous Smash Bros. Games, when a roster is in the process of being unlocked, characters are the characters are arranged in strange ways that don't really make any sense, and we know pretty much beyond a shadow of a doubt now that this is not the complete roster. So that could be a reason why some of the characters appear to be, in strange locations.
Well, and actually, speaking of which, the original leaker, who leaked the roster, has since claimed that there are other characters, coming to the game. Being Mach Rider, Impa, Mewtwo, Dixie, and Ridley. So assuming everything we've seen so far is true, and assuming he's right about that, what do you guys think about that roster? I know, Ash, you've been very vocal on your opinion regarding Ridley. So, what do you guys think about this?
Well, look, I don't really care who. I mean, look, I've got Mega Man. I mean, Ridley's cool. I don't really care about Ridley. I just want the Chorus Kids. I need the Chorus Kids part of this whole remaining character leak to be true. If the Chorus Kids get in, Ridley's, I don't care. Ridley, sure. And I'm a big Dixie fan, so I'm happy if Dixie gets in anyway. But I just really want to see the Chorus Kids, and I don't like this version of the roster because the Chorus Kids aren't in it.
The thing about this leak, where these additional characters, that makes me think they're not quite true is maybe it's just my this is my own personal bias in here, of course.
Because Ridley's
is
on
the
there?
fact that no, it's because I actually like the idea of Ridley being in there. I want Ridley to be in here, but because I want more Metroid representation, and that would be perfect. The problem I have is that this guy claimed at first that DLC was going to be in the game, adding in Chorus Kids, Snake, Lucas, and all them that got cut. However, as part of this cipher that was people figured out and revealed these other 5 characters, he also said that the DLC was fake just to screw with people.
Right.
And if you're doing that, if a leaker is saying, hey, I best put this part in to screw with you, that kind of makes me question the legitimacy of the rest of his leak. So
sure.
I just don't... I'm having trouble buying it as much as, Mewtwo, Dixie, Ridley, great, additions. Impa, I've grown to really love after playing Hyrule Warriors. Mach Rider, I'm not familiar with at all, but it's different. It's a guy riding a bike, which kind of ties into Excite Bike, which is kind of cool.
Well, then there's another version of the final roster coming from the other leaker that we've been dealing with, right?
I believe so. That the guy who leaked all the videos today of Bowser Jr. and Shulk, correct?
And this guy says there are only 3 remaining characters, and that's Dixie, Mewtwo, and the Chorus Kids, and I'm of course a fan of his version of the roster a lot more.
I mean, I think that one seems the more plausible of the two by far, and
it does,
and that does tie into the whole Gematsu leak that we covered before.
That's true too.
Obviously, the first one I think a lot of people would love to see happen. I think that one actually does make more sense, though.
I agree that I think I like the second set. That seems a bit more, for lack of better terms, realistic.
Right.
However, I still would like to see Ridley make it in there, and I think Impa and the Mach Rider could be interesting as well. But just having those other 3, along with the Chorus Kids, which would correlate with the Gamatsu leak, which, love it or hate it, it's been mostly correct.
It has. I mean, all it's really gotten wrong was Crom, and I don't see how the Gamatsu leak could be right about Shulk, but wrong about the Chorus Kids.
Exactly.
That would be really weird.
I totally agree. Yeah, so, I mean, at this point, the only things I'm believing for sure are the things that we've seen pictures or video of. I think all that is concrete. These lists, I'm not entirely sure about, but I do hope there are more characters, and again, I think that second one makes more sense.
I have a theory regarding, we're going to have a little bit of a break between when the 3DS game comes out and then eventually the Wii U version. And, I would imagine that they want to save a lot of, cool features and things specifically for when the Wii U release comes out. So that leads me to believe that the idea of there being DLC characters is possible, but I think just because between the couple different leakers and all these different sources have been weird and all of them have been inconsistent with each other, it just doesn't. There's not one that I'm sold on yet in terms of what may or may not be true. But I do think that there's definitely a possibility of there being more stuff, because just trying to think about how can they pad out content to continue to release for between the two different versions of the games, it just seems like that they would want to have more stuff like that. But then also All-Star mode, which I guess we didn't really go into that yet, but there's a bit about how obviously there's going to be an All-Star mode in the game, because there has been for every one of them so far. And you only get that when you unlock all of the playable characters. So if there are going to be DLC characters, how exactly does that work? Does it just get updated after you get all of the ones you can possibly get on your own, and then it gets updated further when you get the DLC ones? I wonder about exactly how they would deal with that, because especially if there's upwards of 5 or 6 or whatever characters after the initial roster of you could lock however much you possibly can in the copy that you have. It's how do they adjust that? How does that work exactly? So
I would just assume that it would just get spread out through the rest of the game, and I think you could unlock All-Star mode just with the basic characters. The DLC, maybe that won't appear in that mode, and that'd be maybe a limitation for them. Hard to say, but I can also see them just sort of making it so they integrate in just like the other characters do when All-Star mode is unlocked.
Yeah, I don't think All-Star mode being unlocked or not is going to be affected by DLC at all. I mean, it's usually just affected by the core roster in the game being completely unlocked. There was an image of the All-Star mode icon leaked today, and there was a little lock icon on it, which means that the source that these screens or videos are coming from does not have all the characters unlocked, which means that the character select screen that we've seen does not, 100% for sure, does not represent the full roster. So we can be sure of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of awesome, actually. And I think Chris touched on something interesting there. Yeah, with the fact, with the Wii U version coming out later, you would think they'd want to have some big news for that. And, of course, characters are the biggest news for Smash Brothers. I do think there's a strong possibility they could have... we already know both games will share the same roster. But I do think it's possible that they may not all be in the 3DS version from the get-go. And they may only become available once the Wii U version comes out. Or maybe even after that point. Maybe in order to get development done... they're going to put off some characters, which might explain the absence of the Ice Climbers so far, and release them as DLC down the line.
That's true. That's
perfectly possible. Or another idea is just that the Wii U version will eventually, they'll start out with the same amount of characters, but the Wii U will eventually grow in characters. And the Wii 3DS will stay the same. But 3DS has already proven that it can get DLC as well, so it's entirely possible that they just grow together. And maybe if they do a cross-pack where you get one character of DLC for the Wii U version, you unlock it for the 3DS version as well, which would be kind of nice.
Yeah, no, I'm sure they'll grow together. I think Sakurai, he has said before that the spiders are the same between the two versions, so it's just a matter of, if they do go the DLC route, I think they'd have to unlock for both versions. Hopefully.
Right. One other thing to mention about this this All-Star mode image that Snake fans aren't going to like is that the All-Star icon shows Mario, Link, Sonic, Mega Man, and Pac-Man, which, I mean, we already were pretty sure Snake has been cut, but I can't think of any more conclusive proof than that Snake is not coming back. So, sorry, Snake fans, but it looks like the writing is on the wall at this point.
It is kind of interesting that every major leak that that we paid attention to, Snake has not even been on the radar for any of them, right?
But on the what is it? The music page. Sorry, the music page on the website lists.
But that's the only reference. But they also have Tales of series.
But it also lists Chrono Trigger and Tales of series and Idolmaster. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're not going to get Chrono as a newcomer, as much as I would love that.
That'd be amazing. Yeah, that would be incredible.
Don't even say that to me. That's
I know.
not fair.
It is interesting that Snake hasn't been mentioned at all, but love or hate some of the characters, these new characters that are getting announced and whatever your feelings on them, this is an extremely good roster.
Yeah.
I mean, extremely good. Even if it's, let's say the original leaker's right, and then the last 5 characters are Mewtwo, Mach Rider, Impa, Dixie, Ridley. Really great. Let's say the other guys right, and it's only the 3 where it's only Dixie, Mewtwo, and Chorus Kids. All those together, either way, is a really good roster.
It really is.
I can't wait to play it because it just... I mean, I want to try out each of these characters, love or hate them.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was sold a Duck Hunt Dog, and anything past that is gravy. And if we got Dixie there, that would be, just incredible.
And I've said for a while I've wanted the Duck Hunt Dog, but I always sort of said it as a joke.
I was always serious when I said it.
See, I was saying it as a joke, because in my head I'm thinking, like, he has the 2 ducks, like, in his paws, like, he raises up in victory, and he's using them like nunchucks or something like that, just swinging them around and just whacking people with them. Just having fun like that, and have it be possible that he's actually in the game. It's just kind of amazing.
Yeah, I want that video to leak. Where's our Duck Hunt Dog video?
I know, I do too.
Right?
And speaking of video leaks, Derek, I hate to be the one to deliver this news during the recording, but all of those videos have been hit with takedown notices by Nintendo, which basically now 100% confirms that they are all real.
Wow.
Okay. Interesting.
So I hate to be the bearer of bad news there, but...
I'm surprised it took this long.
Yeah. They're all gone.
So that straight up confirms it.
Yeah.
There's no other way. There really is no other way. Yeah.
Yeah, that 100% confirms.
Here's my skeptical period coming out.
Oh, Jesus.
Unless Nintendo just doesn't even want to entertain the thought of people even wondering about that.
No,
I don't know.
Yeah, I hear you, but no.
No, it's
Wow. Okay. Well, that settles that.
Yeah.
There you go.
So with these latest videos, basically confirming the roster leak from last week, that also basically confirms that the stage leak, that the stage selection screen that came out, probably is true as well. And in that case, we found out about several new stages, being one based on F-Zero, apparently on the Super Nintendo version, and then one based on Magicant from Mother 1, then what appears to be Gower Plains from Xenoblade. And we got a little bit more information on like the Game Boy stage that shows Kirby's Dream Land. And then there's several other returning stages as well, like Pictochat, Mushroom Kingdom, among others. So I thought we'd just get our give our quick thoughts on the stage lineup for the Smash Bros. 3DS. So what do you guys think about it?
I like it, but I also am a little disappointed because you want to see new representation for all these stages,
right,
for all these characters, and to bring in old ones kind of feels cheap, especially like we have so many Mario stages. Why bring in Mushroomy Kingdom? And I wasn't it's kind of a cool stage, but why bring it back when we have scrolling stages that match Mario already?
Yeah, it is a weird addition. I agree.
Yeah, and it's just, I mean, some of the new stages look great. I like the fact that the F-Zero stage looks to be based off the NES version, or maybe the Game Boy Advance version, since it is based on the portable games. There are some really great choices in here. It just sucks that it's kind of like they had to cut corners in a way in order to fit in stages for everyone and to just reuse old stages. It sucks, but I kind of understand it, and there is hope for the Wii U version, of course, having all brand new.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I mean, we always knew there were going to be returning stages, and I'm actually fine with that, because I like having stages come back from Brawl and Melee. But usually they're relegated to their own section, and there are just a few of them. But here, they seem to be pretty liberally sprinkled throughout the entire stage selection screen. And I would say they make up almost half of the total available stages that we see here, which is, in a word, it is disappointing. I mean, I think we all knew the writing was on the wall when we kind of thought about the fact that Sakurai and his team were working on two completely separate versions of Smash Brothers at once. I mean, something was going to have to give, and it makes sense that it would be the stages, but it is too bad that instead of getting a new Metroid stage, maybe based on Metroid 2 or Metroid Fusion, we're getting Brinstar again from Melee. Same thing with, about the lack of a new Donkey Kong stage is unfortunate. I mean, basically, there are a lot of returning stages here, which is a little disappointing, but in terms of just the new stages, I'm a fan of most of them. I'm excited about most of the new stages, and if the pink stage on the right-hand side really is Magicant, I think that's awesome that we're getting a new Mother stage, because I really didn't think we would.
That is really surprising, and I should mention real quick that we normally get Chris's thoughts on this, but he had to drop out because his laptop was about to die. But yeah, I agree. All the stages we've seen, for the most part, and played at E3, I've liked, and I am intrigued, again, by the Kirby Game Boy one, or the Game Boy one in general. It is unfortunate though that so many are old stages, and in fact they're not even separated this time like they have been before. They just mix them all together again, assuming it's real. This is something we kind of predicted would happen. Something would have to give, and it unfortunately was the stages for the 3DS one. But what's interesting is I wonder what that means for the Wii U one. I think we know about more stages for the 3DS one than we do about the Wii U one in general.
Yeah, we know a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, even ignoring this leak. So I'm hoping, I don't know the Wii U one's going to have the same problem or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like we're going to have to wait. We'll probably have to wait a little while for more Wii U, specific news, just because I think the hype machine's going to be fully focused on the 3DS version right now,
right?
Leading up to release. But I mean, Wii U games obviously have a lot more space. I think we can maybe hope for maybe a better or a healthier mix of new and returning stages in the Wii U version, but then again, maybe not,
Yep.
I'm kind of expecting much more new because a lot of these stages are new. Like, yeah, Mega Man stage is the same, but Sonic has a brand new stage, Pac-Man has a completely different stage, Star Fox has a different stage. You do get that representation. The only returning stage we've seen so far is the Halberd for the Wii U version. And I really hope we get a new Kirby stage, because Kirby stages are really fun, and it'd be really weird to have Sakurai not have a new Kirby stage for the Wii U version. As far as the 3DS one, it's a little odd. I'm a little disappointed, but on the whole, at least the new ones we are getting are very creative.
It's true. I mean, yeah. Again, I think it has some of the better stages we've seen. I do think it makes more sense. Again, I don't know if either version is going to have more returning stages than the other, but if one does, it would make sense for it to be the 3DS one, simply because Wii assets are a better fit for the 3DS's hardware, as opposed to being on the Wii U, where they look more out of place, compared to the brand new stages, which are gorgeous, of course. Putting aside the mild disappointment with that, I've been pretty happy with what we've seen so far, and I'm super stoked to see more. In fact, we will be seeing more very soon at PAX. They are going to have a media event for Smash Bros. 3DS where there will be new stuff there, apparently. So
it might be worth mentioning that it still holds true that in Smash Run, the only two enemies without characters or stages representing them are still the Polar Bear from Ice Climbers and the Sneaky Spirit from Chorus Men. So who knows what that means in the grand scheme of all things? I mean, we have every reason to believe now that Ice Climbers have been cut. And we haven't seen the Chorus Kids yet, but the Polar Bear we know it's there.
Yeah.
So it's really weird.
Yeah, because I don't think we've seen any enemies for Smash Run that haven't been pulled from an existing, character's game.
We touched on it a little bit earlier, but yeah, I do just kind of want to drive home the point. The Ice Climber thing makes absolutely no sense to me. Like, I don't understand, if they have been cut, why? I guess, Rosalina and Luma kind of fill that gap a little bit, but they do function differently than Ice Climbers do. So
They really do. And if the Chorus Men make it in, that's, I think, 3 characters,
right.
Unless it's, so it's not that 3DS can handle them, unless
right.
it's because they're, maybe a simpler design. But, no, it's just, I love the Ice Climbers. They've been around since Melee, and it would really suck if they are actually gone. It's the only reason I'm kind of hoping that at least part of this is fake, or at least, that they're one of the unlockables. But again, this is a really good lineup. It's covered a lot of the bases. There were a couple odd choices here and there, but I think on the whole, I'm pretty happy with how 3DS is looking, if this is correct.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it. And I think it is. Largely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, everything we've seen pictures and video of, I believe 100%. The only thing in question for me are, those additional character leaks. Like Dixie, Ridley, all that stuff. So
yeah, that's really the question mark here, is who's left.
Exactly.
Thank God that we still have some mystery to this game, because I will admit a part of me was like crushed that all this stuff got leaked, and I'm like, no, all the magic is gone. I got a month to wait, and I was like, this slow trickle is carrying me on. Yeah, it's kind of great to know everything in quotes, but I still like the idea of Nintendo being the one to show it off, Sakurai showing it off, getting proper introductions. Like the reveal trailers that we got for Palutena, Pac-Man, the excitement you felt seeing those videos, that is why I'm down on this leak. It's because I'm missing out on that. Now when they see those videos for Shulk getting in the game, it's like, oh, Shulk's here. Great.
I'll still be excited. I don't know. I'm still going to be super excited when I see,
I see what you're saying, Derek, and there probably will be some less excitement, but I think just seeing how they're going to work in the game fully, and I guess we have seen some of that with the videos today, But I think seeing the full trailer, I mean, I think it'll be just as cool. Like take Pac-Man for instance, right? Like I knew he was going to be in the game. For me, there was no doubt at all. And yet, still seeing the trailer for me was exciting.
It was still kind of unknown, and it was just a confirmation, and seeing it happen was where that excitement came from. And I guess you could still say the same thing about this, where it is still kind of unknown. But I don't know. All this information coming out so soon. I don't know. All I know is that somebody's in trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, that's for sure. I mean, and Derek, look, I mean, I do agree with you. It always is better for the hype machine to have Nintendo, or Sakurai reveal things when they want to, and I love getting caught up in the hype. But at the same time, I mean, leaks are bound to happen, and let's say that the pick of the day tonight reveals Wario or Ness. I mean, okay, sure, we've been seeing him all over the internet for the past week now, but I'm still going to be psyched because it's the official reveal. We'll have official, we'll have official art and assets. I mean, there is still excitement to be had, in my opinion, but I know where you're coming from.
That's where most of my downing on. I mean, you guys are all behind this, and I just like, I kind of hope it's not, because I don't want to miss out on that.
Well, if I learned one thing, it's that no matter what the leak is, Derek won't believe it.
You gotta be a skeptic. You can't just buy into everything whole hog. You gotta look at it. You gotta look, and maybe I could be wrong. I'm perfectly fine admitting I was wrong in places. So, and I think I did that with the Gamatsu leak. So
yeah. I mean, we still don't know for sure that is true or not, but it does look like it is, with the exception of the Chrome mistake. But we'll see. I mean, who knows? We don't know the Course Kids are in there or not. I hope they are. But yeah,
I mean, we don't know yet.
Yeah, we don't know.
Ridley's in there.
Yeah, so there's still a mystery left here, Derek. So don't get too down yet. All right. Well, I think that wraps up our Smash Brothers leak discussion. So thanks guys for watching. If you liked our video, make sure to like and follow us on Facebook and Twitter at GameExplainers. You can find links to in the description below. It's a good way to keep up to date on everything we post, and of course keep an eye on GameExplain.com for more on Smash Brothers Wii U and 3DS and other things gaming as well, including our upcoming PAX coverage in just a few days. All right, thanks guys. Bye.